Sorry for the little bit change of scenery since my couch is currently in the opposite direction as before. I'm a little bit home for now because of minor surgery, so I'm sitting down, even though it hurts to sit down because everything hurts right now. Anyways, I thought that while I have the time to film, I should probably try to, even though it hurts, but can't win in life. Apparently. Last year I decided to do this sort of video where I talk about 12 books that will self-destruct in 12 months unless I read them first, and by self-destruct I mean I will unhaul them if I did not end up reading them. And it was very stressful at the end because I saved like half of the books until the very last minute. So yeah, powered through. But yeah, I just wanted to do that again because it definitely made me actually pick up the books, and honestly I feel like this time around with the stack I'm going to talk about very soon, I'm really interested in reading all of these books, and I've had all of them for like at least 2 years, some of them for like 5 or 6 years, so I feel like it's time to get to them. So that's why we're doing this video. So yeah, I've chosen some different genres and age groups and everything, so differentiate somewhat of an interesting collection here. So I have like 2 classics, 2 YA contemporaries, 2 historical fiction, 3 middle grade, 1 adult fantasy, and 2 YA fantasy. So yes, I'm sitting very awkwardly because it hurts to sit, like I said. But yeah, let's try to talk about these without falling down because I'm currently keeping all of my weight up with one arm. Anyways, so the first book we have here is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I've had this, I want to say since like I moved here, so maybe like 4 years. And I don't really know a lot about it. It has gotten very good ratings by people who have read it, and people seem to love it when it came out. So I have high hopes for this one, and it's so shiny and pretty. But this actually won Goodreads Best Historical Novel of the Year, whichever year it came out, I don't really know. This is about what it's like to be a woman during the war, when women's stories are often overlooked. And this basically takes place during World War II, and it's sort of the women's war. So we follow the story of 2 sisters separated by years of experience, by ideals, passion, and circumstance, and embarking on her own dangerous path towards survival. That's like all I know, and that's all I want to know. Pain, no gain, no pain, no gain, right? And then we have the second historical fiction, and this is Codenamed Verity by Elizabeth Wayne. I've had this, I feel like I did start reading it as an ebook first, like 5 years ago maybe, and then I ended up picking up the book maybe like 4 years ago or something. I don't know, I've had it for a really long time. But this one takes place in October 1943, and basically there's a British spy plane that crashes in Nazi-occupied France, and the pilot and the passenger are best friends, but just one of the girls actually have a chance of surviving this ordeal. They are arrested by Gestapo, and Verity is given a choice: really reveal her mission or face a grisly execution. They'll get the truth out of her, only it won't be what they expect. Just gonna be more of me sitting weirdly. Okay. Oh, that was better. Okay, and then we have the YA contemporary. So we have There's Something About Sweetie by Sandaya Manon. I've had this for like 3 years maybe. I did really like When Dimple Met Rishi, so I feel like I like this one. But this is about Ashish Patel, and I think she is the cousin or something like that to Rishi, and basically her mother wants her to find a partner, and that's really not what she wants, but she ends up getting like pushed together with this guy named Ashish, and they realize that maybe there's some magic growing in between them that they did not know. Now we have Winger by Andrew Smith, which I've had for like at least 6 years. Like I bought this when this was like new maybe-ish. This came out in 2013. Okay, I didn't buy it that early, but more like 6 years ago maybe. And this is about a guy named Ryan, and he goes to this sort of boarding school for really rich kids called Pine Mountain, and it's a boarding school, and he ends up sharing a room with one of the biggest bullies at school. But he's also totally in love with Annie, but they think of him as a little kid because he's a lot younger than the other kids that are there. This is sort of a coming of age story, which people seem to like a long time ago when I actually bought this one, so hopefully I'll enjoy it too. Then we come to the classic part of it, and we have Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I really enjoyed reading her other works, and I haven't never read this one. And this is the beautiful vintage classic, and I just love these editions, and I need to buy them all in this edition because I don't have them all, which I need to rectify. I don't know much about this at all. So we have two characters called Eleanor and Marianne, and when their father ends up dying, they're sort of pushed into society, and like they get the charms of unsuitable men at the schemes of rival ladies, and that means that their path to success are fraught with disappointment, but together they attempt to find a way to happiness. So that's all it says, but at least it's a pretty cover. And then the next one is Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. I've had this for a while as well. There's supposed to be, yeah, some illustrations in there as well. And it doesn't even say what it's about, and I really have like no idea. It just says on the back, yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, which definitely sparks Jack Sparrow vibes. I don't make me laugh, it hurts. About storms and adventures and maybe some pirates. I really don't know. You people are probably laughing at me right now, but that's why I need to read it so I know what it's about. We come to the 3 middle grades. So we have Tilly and the Book Wanderers by Anna James, which is book 1 in Pages and Co series. I think there's like a 4th book out now, or a 3rd one maybe. This has been on many TBRs, and I just never ended up getting to it, but I really do want to read it because it sounds so up my alley. So basically there's a girl named Tilly. She lives above her grandparents' bookshop, and she realizes that she can like go into the books, and that her favorite book characters can appear in the shop, and she can follow them back to their magical worlds. And in this first book we have like Anne of Green Gables, Alice in Wonderland, and what I think is Captain Hook, maybe? I don't know who he's supposed to be. But yeah, I really want to read this one, and I know that the other books in the series we follow characters from other books, so this just sounds amazing, and I really need to get to it. We have sort of a middle grade sci-fi story that I've heard people really like, and this is Orion Lost by Alistair Chisholm. And basically it says there was a ship in space lost. The transport ship Orion is 4 months out of Earth when catastrophe strikes, leaving the ship and everyone on board stranded in deep space. Suddenly it's up to 13-year-old Beth and her friends to navigate through treacherous and uncharted territory to reach safety. But a heavily damaged ship, space pirates, and a mysterious alien species, and an artificial intelligence that Beth doesn't know if she can trust means that getting home has never been so difficult. And it's supposed to have a lot of twists and turns, and I've heard great things about it, so really read it. And like I said, these books are not unread because I'm not interested in them. They're unread because I have so many books to read constantly. And I mean, that's my fault. I really want to read these books because I don't want to unhaul a single one of them, which is the point of this video. Force myself to read shelf warmers so that I get to them at some point, you know? And I'll have a year to do it because make life more stressful and exciting, I guess. And then we have a book that I know is very like popular, or was when it came out. So this is The Wizard of Wands by Cressida Cowell. And that's the author that wrote How to Train Your Dragon, which I haven't read either. But this is a middle grade book. It has illustrations as well. And I think there's supposed to be, you know, magic, since the title Wizard of Wands. Okay, so we meet a young boy wizard and a young girl warrior brought up as enemies. but have they been so busy fighting that an ancient evil has returned unnoticed. So that sounds awesome, and I feel like it would be a quick read because like there's a lot of illustrations taking up several pages, so I feel like I could fly through this. And then we've come to the fantasy part. So this is the adult fantasy, and this is The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. I probably had this for like 2 years. I think this is one of the newer books on this list. Would have owned it for even longer if it had arrived the first time I ordered it. It disappeared in transit somewhere, so this is the second copy. But this is supposed to be a world. This is supposed to be about a world caught in an eternal war. One young man will become his people's only hope for survival. And it doesn't really say much, but it basically said this is supposed to be Game of Thrones meets Gladiator. And apparently it started out as a self-publishing sensation and has become one of the most acclaimed epic fantasy debuts of recent years. Or that's what it says on the book. So I mean, I think there's supposed to be dragons in it since it's called The Rage of Dragons. But I've heard great things about it. I know there's more books out in this series and I just really want to read it. And then we have come to the last two books, which are YA fantasy. So this is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I don't know how many times I've thought about picking this one up, but there's a lot. It was even on my nightstand I put it on my nightstand for a while to like, you know, inspire me to pick it up and read it. Didn't happen, but I really do want to read it. So this is supposed to be about lesbian necromancers, and that's all I know, but it sounds awesome. I know there's a second book out in the series called Harrow the Ninth. But yeah, it sounds really interesting. The cover is cool and creepy, and I'm here for it. And the last book I was so hyped about, and that is The Vanishing Deep by Astrid Scholt. And I thought that I would be reading this as soon as I got it because I was so intrigued by the premise and it sounded so cool. But as time went on, I realized that it's been getting not the best reviews on Goodreads, because I think the average rating is like 3.64 or something like that, 3.6 something. And that just made me not pick it up because I do have a lot of books that I know have really, really good ratings. But this one we meet 17-year-old Tempe, and she was basically born in a world of water. And there's only a few islands left after the great waves hit centuries ago. And basically Tempe spends her days scavenging, diving to the ruins of Bangor and for anything valuable. But it's not food or shelter she wants to barter for, it's for a life, and it happens to be her sister's life. So she wants to revive her sister Alicia, because Tempe wants to know what happened to her parents before they died, but Alicia has other plans. She doesn't want to spend her remaining hours atoning for a crime she insists she didn't commit. Instead, she wants to persuade Tempe to break her out of the facility, and together they embark on a dangerous journey. That's all I know, but it sounds cool, and I do still want to read it, but like I said, the reviews ain't great. But yeah, these are all of the 12 books I have to read in 12 months before they self-destruct. Hopefully I will not leave them to the last minute like I did the previous year, but I feel like 12 books, 12 months, I can probably beat some out before the year's over, right? But like I said, I've had these books for a long time. There's no reason really why I haven't read them, because I should have, because I really honestly am interested in every single one of these books. It's just me giving myself a kick in the ass to get to them, because my goal, unofficial goal these days, is to try to read shelf warmers, because you don't know, maybe there's a hidden gem in there, and maybe I find out that I'm not really interested in reading some of them anymore, you know? So yeah, if you like this video, please let me know down below, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.